Hey, everybody. The great Ron Paul guy, Dave Loffredo, lost 60 pounds and got key markers of his health back. And he did it thanks to the accountability he got in my fitness group, which is one of the 11 gazillion benefits of my school of life. Here's Dave.
In September, right before I joined the group, I had I weighed 226 pounds. I had a blood test that showed inflammation super high, borderline diabetic. Actually, some doctors would have put me. My doctor's a little anti-medical establishment. He's not the first person. Doesn't do everything they tell him. So he probably would have put me on some kind of medication for diabetes. My inflammation was through the roof. Since probably 2019, I had no ability to drive at night. Because I have this eye disease called keratoconus, and the flashes of the lights at night and stuff like that just made it impossible. And then after I lost the weight, I not only lost some. At first, I lost 40 pounds and 15. Now it's 60. My blood test came back almost perfect. Like he was like, "Wow, this is working for you." Yeah, blood sugar went way down. Like there's no idea of thing. And then I guess what really shocked me, and I just discovered this in the past 2 months, is that I can now drive at night. Like the glare is still there, but it's not to the point where it's blinding. And to me, that's kind of a small miracle, because I was really upset with my wife last year. I told her how, I was sad that I would never be able to take my daughters to play dates or dates, when they start dating, I can't be a chaperone. Because I can't be driving at night because it was just super dangerous. And, just one day last year, I got these just a couple months ago, I got these new lenses, and I have these glasses that supposedly help with the glare. So I said, let me just give it a shot. And I didn't need the glasses. I was fine. And I'm sure it has something to do with the weight loss and the eyes, but it was just another thing that I wasn't expecting that just came out of this thing. It's life-changing for me, actually.
I don't mean to dwell on this, but given that a lot of men watching this are going to be curious because they also would like to have the kind of result that you had, what was the change in your waist size? Let's just be blunt here.
From a 40 to now a 32, that's still a little loose.
Wow.
So almost 8 sizes. And that's actually one of my problems, was the fact that I didn't have clothes. Like everything I was trying on was falling off me, and I didn't want to go buy because I didn't know how much more I was going to lose. So the weight just flew off, especially the weight size.
What I just can't get over, even though I see the intellectual case for it, is two things. One, wouldn't I get tired of it? And two, I would miss pasta more than I think you have. So do you do a thing where it's like 80-20, or do you have cheat days? Or is it that you get so many wins with it that you don't get tired of winning? You don't want to stop winning, so that keeps you on the path. Like, what's the deal?
Oh, I did do cheat days, and it was actually suggested, kind of like, just to keep you sane. So, I did cheat days, like my wife's birthday, our anniversary, holidays, stuff like that. For the most part, though, I stuck with it, and I think it's just the results. There are times when I can't do really healthy carnivore, right? So I'll be doing stuff on the side. I'll go to. We have Wawa's everywhere here. So I'll go to Wawa and I'll get something that's just meat. And then the next day I feel okay, but it's not the same as like the day that I get up and I have a grass-fed steak or something. Your body just feels better. Like the energy level's higher, you're more awake. And I think that's really what motivates you to cheat less. It's just because when I cheat, I don't feel as good as when I didn't cheat. And then when you really cheat, like when you go ahead and have some sugar, the first time I had sugar after not eating, after doing carnivore for 2 months, I literally felt like I had a hangover the next day. Like I felt, I had like a half a piece of cake. And the next day I felt like I was hungover. It was just weird. I didn't know how to explain it. And I guess some people in the group said that they get the same thing. The one thing I really do miss is the pasta, because it's just not one of those cheats that I can get away with. Because if I have a bowl of mom's pasta, I'm going to have 2. So that is something that I do miss. And that's still becomes a problem when there's a big family event.
Yeah.
It's like, I wish I could cheat that. But for the most part, it's because I want to stay in health. I mean, I've had too many amazing changes. Like I was telling the group, just the Bible group today, that in my mind, I've had miracles happen. And I asked for miracles. I mean, I kind of think that your show and your email that convinced me that, because every time I got the emails, I was like, I'd love to do this, but when am I going to get the time? And how much, it sounds expensive. And then when yours came in, it was just like, I got to try this. And I kind of thought it was, now looking back with the weight loss, I'm not as nervous about things. And then the eyes, I kind of feel like maybe it was that your school was my answer. I really do. There's too much good stuff came out of it. And I really thought my world was falling apart. I was hitting rock bottom. So
wow.
Thank you.
Wow. I am so happy to hear. I'm always really happy to hear stories like this. And the thing is, I haven't, it's on me that I haven't, but I've got so many great stories of people, so in your case, a story involving health, but I have people who are, they're making more money. They got a better job. They left a job that was killing them. I have a guy who says, I'm a much better father than I used to be. And I should be talking to these people and interviewing them and getting into these personal stories. I did want to ask you, and I think you kind of hit it, about how mom feels now. You don't eat her pasta, but have you gotten to a point, I know this is kind of a personal question, but have you gotten to a point where the family will at least say, well, we can't argue with results?
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, there's no argument about what the results are. I mean, my mom tends to forget that I'm on carnivore, so she'll still offer, the pasta or a piece of cake. Oh, look, like just this morning, my brother bought her strufoli. So I was like, oh, I'll have a strufoli. I was like, no, Mom, I'm still doing the carnivore thing. So today, and this kind of comes from somebody in the group that always talks about the vanity of being in shape. Today, I told her, well, Mom, my goal is to be a saint. And I want my body, when it's exposed, to look good and not look like Thomas Aquinas. Out of that. So I'm getting. It's accepted. I mean, I get far more calls now about, well, how do I do carnivore? What do I do? Who do I follow? I have now 3 cousins trying to get advice from me on how to follow this thing and what to do. I mean, I tell them to just join a school in life, but that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But so it's changed. Nobody thinks I'm crazy. The fact that my blood test came back, and I wasn't about to have a heart attack, because that was the biggest concern. I'm eating bacon and cheese and meat, and I'm eating a lot of it when I can. And they're seeing me eat this, thinking, "Oh, you're about to have a heart attack."
That's what they've been told.
My heart went it was the complete opposite. It fixed all my heart problems. It fixed all my
But that's just what everyone's heard. That's what they look at what's on your plate, and they think you're going to be in bad shape health wise. But that's not really the case. Now, do you also consider eggs? Is eggs considered to be part of legit carnivore?
I do. Eggs are a big part for me because they're cheaper and easier. And in the beginning, and I'm still looking for work on a regular basis. I just have some other ways to pay for things. But in the beginning, the price of it was scary. So I did a lot of ground beef and eggs. And I'd have 6 eggs and a half a pound of ground beef. And mix it all together and throw some cheese in there. And that would be my dinner for the day.
Yeah.
So eggs are in. I mean, pretty much anything alive is the way that I was taught. So if it crawls little walks or swims or flies, you can eat it.
Well, steak and eggs is just such a great pairing anyway.
Yeah.
That's right. Works super well. So I've been promoting the site through a $1 trial. You try it for a month for $1, and I'm almost kind of taunting people by saying, look, I realize I am asking you to make an excruciatingly difficult decision, because with $1 you could buy 3/4 of a pack of double mint gum. I recognize that, and gum can be very flavorful. On the other hand, you could be part of an extraordinary community where we live in this hostile society where every institution hates our guts and teaches us the opposite of what we need to know to be healthy, to be wealthy, to parent well, to get a good education for our kids. We're getting exactly the opposite. And so I thought, but you know what? All our people are all smart and ambitious, and we could all help each other, you know? So you could also spend $1 doing that. So I actually, you know, I'm good at buying domain names. I bought onebucktrial.com. So I suppose you are urging people to take the $1 trial?
Oh, absolutely. And I did pay somebody in the group to help me tweak my resume, but the amount of just free offers of send me your resume, let me look at it. You know, it was just amazing. It was like I was about to pay people to do what everybody in this group was offering for free.
Incidentally, so the way it works is, so we have these small groups where, you know, you meet with your fitness people, but we have groups on different topics and all that, and where people interact with each other and they help each, and every week they check in on the progress they're making with whatever it is they're doing. But then we also have these sessions that are for the entire membership. Like I bring somebody in to talk about, you know, what makes sense in terms of investing, or what makes sense in terms of where's a good place to relocate to, either here or around the world, or how do I start with homeschooling when I'm sure I can't do it? Or I bring people, and that's for all of us, because we all need to learn stuff like this. At least we all need to learn at least some of the things that I bring up. Like I even had Joel Skousen come on, who knows everything about how to. He did this thing on how to build a secure home, and somebody asked him in the Q&A. I could not believe how much this guy knew. They asked him, "How far away would you want to live from a nuclear power plant?" And it turns out that the answer depends on whether you live east or west of the plant. And he knew this off the top of his head. And then I found out about him, by the way, that he delivered, I forget how many kids he has, but the first child they had in the hospital, and he watched the doctor deliver the child. He watched very, very closely. And then the rest of the children, he delivered himself based on his observation at the hospital. I just love that guy. So anyway, that is the kind of person we have who comes and makes presentations. Well, so onebucktrial.com, that's the website. And Dave, all I can say to you is I'm so happy to hear about what's happened, and congratulations, but good on you ultimately for putting in the work and showing up.
Thank you. And thank you for doing this, finding a way to put libertarians together and just having us all strive. I think you're gonna have some amazing people come out of this group, but maybe I'll be one of them. But there's gonna be names coming out of this group that everybody's gonna know, and it's gonna be because of this group. Because you have every moderator you have is very supportive. I mean, there's a few times where Brian had to replace Barb, and he gave me some things and was like, "Oh wow, that's great." You know, it's like it's nice to have to know that you have somewhere to go where if you need help, there's people there.
Yeah.
And there's a saying about you're only as good as your 5 closest people. And I think I've replaced most of my closest people with Tom Woods people.
Wow.
And that's changed my life. It really has. I feel like I'm a better person, better father, better husband, better son.
Now, I obviously can't guarantee you results like that, but that's the kind of thing accountability can do for you. So check it out at onebucktrial.com.